Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and we're returning once again for some turn 4 Niv action. So I have actually already played today's video, so I know the outcome, and turn 4 Niv is not what happens, but something quite spicy happens all the same. So hope you guys enjoyed today's matchup. Without further ado, let's get into it, and I'll see you there. Alright, we're on the play. Let's have a look-see. Yep, I'll keep this. Got a turn 1 opt, it seems fine. On the play as well, Ionize isn't too bad, and Niv-Mizzet, pretty good. Did just have a game with Niv-Mizzet, which I won't be showing, because it was just, wow, it was the definition of depressing, I guess. All 4 of my Niv-Mizzets were 40 cards deep in my deck. I had to draw 40 cards before I saw a single one of my 4 of Niv-Mizzets. The build-around card. It's been a fun time playing Magic, I can tell you. Alright, so our opponent's either playing Grixis or Drakes. Or Wilderness Reclamation? Okay. Let's dump that card. And yeah, just pass with Ionize open. This is definitely going to be a control-based matchup. I'm going to make sure that we absolutely destroy Wilderness Reclamations whenever given a chance. Because we will just lose on the spot. Now, if we can get Niv-Mizzet to resolve, then their possible plan of Nexus chaining is just not an option with Niv-Mizzet in play. I don't even know if I want to fire off this Lightning Strike, honestly. I think I'll save it. Niv-Mizzet to the graveyard. Don't need another one. Land, go. Yeah, I just want to aggressively fill up my Azcanta here. I think that they win with Hydroid Krasis and maybe Expansion Explosion as well, so a few things to keep in mind. But we just want to keep dumping anything that we don't want to use. We do want to use all of the Ionizers in this deck, though. So now we have a Lightning Strike on a potential creature with Ionize backup. 3 cards in the yard. This is going to be our win con right here, though. Might not directly win us the game, but it will win us the game, nonetheless. There's a land. This is a matchup where I'd love to see my negates that I mained for. I actually main deck negates for Esper Control, and then they just don't turn up anymore, which is fun. Alright, passing the turn. Our opponent does have Chemisters, which is very powerful on against us, since we're not drawing any of our own as well. Okay, so now we get Sarkhan down, just to bait out a counterspell if they've got one. We don't really care if it resolves or not, because we have Niv-Mizzet whenever we need it. I'm just going to wait until we have Niv-Mizzet plus Ionize backup, because we can't really afford to let our opponent do anything here. So we take a counter away from them, which means that their plan of resolving their win con isn't all that likely. It's like 4 mana Wilderness Reclamation means they need exactly like Negate or Spell Pierce, I guess. Blink of an eye on my search for Azcanta. Yep, sure. Means nothing to me. They might be testing the waters to see if they can get away with stuff. And yeah, we're just going to Ionize search for Azcanta. It might backfire if they go land Wilderness Reclamation. That could have been their bait spell, but it was a pretty damn powerful one that I don't really want to let my opponent have. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they would have been able to flip it the following turn, so really couldn't let that happen. Let's just get Azcanta down. I don't at this point think that they have Reclamation. So honestly, I'm going to fight over this. Now they're at 14. We got 7 cards. We're ready to flip our Azcanta. Yeah, they've got the Wilderness Reclamation. Oh, what a joke. And search for Azcanta. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, we get to drop down Niv-Mizzet potentially, so there is that. I'm just gonna strike them in the face. And dump the land. Transform search. And we get a land. Okay, well. Play Niv-Mizzet. See if our opponent wants to play their spells in response to Niv-Mizzet. Okay. So we're gonna hold this card in hand just because it's a little bit of a mystery to our opponent. But they do get now double Search Rust counter, so they're in a winning position. Sadly for them, they have to actually destroy Niv-Mizzet here or die. So let's see if they can do that. Very good chance that our opponent has no way of dealing with it outside of instants and sorceries, so we should be all good. Another Wilderness Reclamation is real bad. Real bad. Okay. So they have their combo going. But we have Ionize. So we can basically counter Nexus on end step if that's their plan. So swing for 5. They're at 5, so they got... They've got less than 5 instants they can cast here without killing Niv-Mizzet. And we have an Ionize to protect him, so I think we win this one. But it got very close. I think any other deck that wasn't running direct Storm Hate was gonna perish to this one. Our opponent had everything they wanted. They even had the bait search to follow up with Wilderness Reclamation, which was probably a top deck, honestly. There's Expansion Explosion, so that is their win con. Question is, are they going to fire it off and have counter backup? Because it is very likely lethal, I think, if they can manage it. So, end step starts floating mana. Here they go. So it's a matter of what those 3 cards are, plus how our opponent plays this one out if they do actually have a counter. Because they've got a full float here, and then they've got another untap. I'm not sure how much that actually is. It's probably not exactly 20. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wow, okay. That's a lot. Are we going to go for a little explosion? Explosion X6. Alright, come on, counterspell. Dang it. Alright, hit your face. This looks like counter magic, and they're going to untap and win, most likely. But we absolutely have to go for this, and hope that Niv-Mizzet draws us a card that is a counterspell, or our opponent responding to Ionize is one instead. It's an opt. So actually, could we just win in response? And the answer is yes. Yes, we can. So we're just gonna slow roll our Wilderness Reclamation friend over there. Oh, is it my turn? Yeah, just slow roll because, you know, we can. Alright, so against this deck, we want to bring in all of our counter magic. None of our removal really makes a difference. They're going to bring in, like, Hydroid Crisis as an alternative win con, but honestly, it's going to be big enough that we can't actually deal with it anyway, so that's the plan, at least. Right, what do we bring out? I guess we have brought out enough to bring in Blink of an Eyes versus Reclamation on their second main or something like that if they tap out for it. Spyglass could name as counter. I think maybe my opponent could use it far better than we could, since they get the untaps. So I could see myself bringing one in just on that flex slot alone, since we don't have anything better to take out. And 12 counters, 2 bounces, uncounterable Niv-Mizzets, and an early Sarkhan to try and get this down on turn 4. Seems reasonable. We can keep the Beacon Bolts in as removal for Hydroid Crisis, because of course this thing can get pretty huge. So this is our tall removal, and Hydroid Crisis is certainly the tall creature that it was there for. So, yeah, let's just run it like that. Alright, so we're on the draw with 2 opts, which we can use to figure out what our hand wants to look like, I guess. Yeah, sure. We also have the Iron Eyes, which is decent counter. Ooh, drawing into more Iron Eyes is always nice. So we are going to go Steam Vents and then hold up an opt here. Because we can use it quite effectively. Assume our opponent's going to slow roll their Reclamations like before as well to play around counter spells. So we'd like to be able to do something roughly the same. Going to bottom the mountain, because of course we have a million lands already and we're bound to draw more, so... Yep, Sulphur Falls go, hold up and negate now. It's pretty much the best card we could have drawn, honestly, I think. If anything, we want to disrupt our opponent's plan more than our own. Since Wilderness Reclamation is really the only way they're going to get a reasonable expansion explosion here. And that absolutely cannot be allowed to resolve. So let's get that out there right now. And then we've got land into Iron Eyes. Chemister's not too bad. We can even not run this Steam Vents right into it as well. Yeah, I'm liking where our hand is. It's not the turn 4 Niv-Mizzet play, but... still pretty good. There's nothing they can respond to that I'd want to Iron Eyes, right? That Growth Spiral, I think, is about the only thing I can think of. Ooh, that's counter. Yeah, we'll take that. We're not going to be hasty with it, though, because our opponent will almost certainly turbo counter that. So let's just hold on to it. Only 3 cards in our yard. And we can honestly keep playing counter spells and chemisters to build up that as counter count anyway, so... it's not the end of the world. Opponent could do the counter chemisters here, but save it for our end step, where we're not likely to counter it. And it's just blue land and say go, I think. Actually, we can as counter, but we have to fight over a counter, and then our opponent gets to drop whatever they want. So again, I just don't think it's worth playing as counter, especially 4 cards in the yard. Yep, gotta let that go. Gotta make sure we don't fall for the bait. And we also have to worry about Nexus Fate as well, so next turn is gonna be the problem turn. Alright, well, let's Chemisters... honestly, just dump the Steam Vents. We've got a basic that can come into play untapped. There's no reason to play tap lands at this stage, if we can help it. And our opponent with the Chemisters there. Wow. Okay. So they're going to have the mana to do, like, Wilderness Reclamation plus counter, but we have the mana to do counter plus counter, so we can always win that war. Wow, that is an aggressive counter spell. Alright, I'll play it that way. Yeah, I think we just pass. I really want to play as counter, but Reclamation plus counter is too much of a problem. And it must be answered. So until I've got, like, as counter, 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 which is next turn, right? 3, 6, yeah, it's next turn. We're just not going to do anything. Really hit that we've drawn both Beacon Bolts. By the way, this is stupid. It's our only 2 worst cards in the deck for the occasional thing that we didn't want to see. Alright. Yeah, I want one of these if I see a Hydroid Krasis very late in the game. That's just not a thing. Ooh, Sarkhan. Well, we are going to go with Searchful counter here. Our opponent almost certainly fights over this. Sabotage. And then, because we've got an Iron Eyes spare, we'll fight over it as well. Our opponent just lets it go. Pretty sure that's the bait and switch, unfortunately for us. Oh no, they're gonna go for it. Well, we let it go. Count as a premium. Our opponent's using them willy-nilly. Maybe they've just got a million. I wouldn't expect any different, to be honest. But yeah, we just can't let that resolve. We just lose on the spot if that resolves. I guess our opponent's just got more counters. If so, we lose. Let's it go. Okay. Maybe another reclamation then. No. Wow. Alright, well, let's get Sarkin down. Start discarding these beacon bolts, which are worth nothing to me at this point in time.
I don't need this. I need this.
Chemisters. I could Chemisters to try find an untapped land plus negate. That seems really low odds of happening though. So maybe I just pretend that I've got a counterspell and we pass. I think that's maybe my best odds, honestly. It's Chemisters. Still haven't found any of our Niv-Mizzets. 9 cards to go until we've seen half of our deck. So that's twice now that all 4 Niv-Mizzets have been at the bottom of my deck. Ooh, a Niv-Mizzet off. Okay, well, counter Chemisters. Oh, right. Well, fire this off on Niv-Mizzet. The opponent gets to draw a card. And going after Sarkin, eh?
A little pain won't stop me.
And Growth Spiral as well. To hit for another 2. It's pretty solid stuff. I guess they were hoping I'd bring out all of my removal. Yeah, there goes Sarkin. He's down to 1. But he's still alive. Maybe, unless they have shock, he could be okay. Maybe he's fine. Alright. Decline the discard here, because 3 counter spells is better than 2. But that's a Niv-Mizzet down. They've seen their Niv-Mizzet before me, and I run 4. Let's go for this Sinister Sabotage, just because there's a Surveil at this point. I really need to just dig through my deck, because it's a joke that I haven't found my Niv-Mizzets. Gonna go with the expansion. Well... my opponent gets the Surveil, but then there's a chance that they just play another Wilderness Reclamation if I fight over this. This is the second. I think we let them have the Surveil. And we fight over whatever's next. It's really easy to just enter a counter war. But every single time, you just got to imagine there's something far worse coming up. Ooh, we get both expansions out of them. Okay. Pretty sweet. And they still get the reclamation, so maybe we just die here. We'll have to see. Ooh, Blink of an Eye is not too bad. So we can blink Wilderness Reclamation. See what we draw. And then if we don't like what we draw, then we can just throw it away to Sarkin here, but we do like it, so... Just gonna discard and decline.
I know what I'm doing.
And we're almost halfway. All 4 have been at the bottom. Sad times. So yeah, now we've got double counter. We got 2 expansions out of them as they were fighting over the stuff. And this is why those aggressive... Wow, okay. We want to negate that because we don't want them drawing 4 cards. And we still have Iron Eyes open for the Wilderness Reclamation here. Opponent halfway through their deck. We used 3 of the 4 expansion explosions. That's something that we could leverage, perhaps, but I think I still have to fight over this. And I don't think they've got any counter spells left, so fight over this. And as long as they don't have expansion explosion number 4 or whatever it is now. Yeah, it's number 4. Then we should be all good. Chemisters for the panic dig. Because Wilderness Reclamation with Search for a Scanter, if they bring out another one, is going to be really painful for us. We don't want to allow that to happen. But maybe they just drew one anyway. Reclamation? No, letting it go. Alright. We got as Canter, which... Ooh, let's have a look at what we've done so far. Counter-wise, we've got 2 negates and a Sinister Sabotage. Ugh. So, I could go digging for Niv-Mizzet at this stage, but I also think that just getting as Canter down is going to be reasonable anyway. We just have to hope they don't assemble their combo. And if we manage to flip in as Canter, I think we just win. Opponent could have Blink of an Eye here. Crushing Canopy, sure. That is not something I expected to see, but yeah, I suppose it is Niv-Mizzet. Oh. Oh boy. Alright. So, 1 plus another 2. Sarkhan's at least at 1. Now he's dead. Okay. So, goodbye Sarkhan. At least it's goodbye Niv-Mizzet.
You are bold.
No matter what happens, we're going to have the discard for Beacon Bolt anyway to kill Niv-Mizzet. And we've powered through their counter spells. 3 of 4 expansions, 1 of probable 2 Niv-Mizzets.
Challenge.
1 negate, 2 sabotage. We actually haven't run through that many counter spells, actually. I don't know how many they run in general, but I got to imagine they're getting close to the end. Discards a land, draw some cards. 22 cards left in their deck.
You're a warrior.
And yeah, there goes my boy.
No.
It hurts that I'm going to have to discard whatever I draw next. It really does. Oh, no it doesn't. No it doesn't at all. Alright, so... yeah, I think I just have to straight up kill Niv-Mizzet. I was hoping to like do Chemisters so we had an extra card plus Beacon Bolt, discards the one we like least, but I think this is just too much to let it live. Opponent ops, yeah, he's getting the most out of his Niv-Mizzet here. Opponent's seen their Niv-Mizzet before we did. In fact, they saw both of their Niv-Mizzets before I saw mine. My deck's built around it. Theirs isn't. Fun times, right? Okay, so we have no cards in hand. Our opponent has 7. They have free reign to do whatever they want here. And I imagine it's going to be pretty disgusting. Either that or they're just holding up in counter magic and we get negates. How many cards left now? 31. 31. Good times. It's actually, you know what? The sad part is, it's not just Niv-Mizzet that's in the bottom half of my deck, it's the other 3 Sarkhans as well. Wow. That's ridiculous. Alright, well, if we don't need the negate on our opponent's turn, we can discard it to Chemisters, and then hopefully, if the gods grace us with a reasonable draw, then we actually get to... I don't really want to discard negate. What am I talking about? Sarkhan at this point, though. I think we can run Sarkhan out there. With Crushing Canopy being in their deck, maybe Sarkhan is actually the better win con here. do my discard draw, but we're going to decline again, because Negate is probably the most powerful card.
Me I should do this.
And we'll pass. 14 cards in their deck. Are we going to mill them? I suppose it's theoretically possible. Explosion X6. That's all 4 explosions. We cannot allow that one to go, though. Just cannot. I don't want them drawing 6 cards. So then they find their win con and win. But it looks like they're just going to fight over one. Blink of an eye on my Sarkhan to draw a card. Like, sure? Opt. Okay. Looking for a counterspell for him to come on the way back down, I guess. Growth Spiral. 10 cards. So if they played Niv-Mizzet, this is a thing that could happen. If they played Niv-Mizzet, then we could, in theory, cast 10 spells and kill them that way. Since our deck is kind of built around doing that kind of thing. Let's just bounce Search for Azcanta. And draw a card, see if we can find something nice. Chemisters is okay. 2 mana things could we get? There is a Sorcerer's Spyglass in our deck that we could name Azcanta the Sunken Rune with, since we don't have any of our own anymore. I wouldn't be against casting the crap out of that one. Yeah, I don't mind that. Sarkhan, discard Chemisters.
What madness!
And it's an Opt. I think I'll keep Opt in hand until the last moment, just because it entirely depends what my opponent does here as to whether or not I want to do anything. We can't do anything about that. That's here for good. And I could use Chemisters to actually discard on Opt, or I could just Opt and try and find something nice anyway. I am very likely to find Niv-Mizzet. What an absolute joke. What is this? What is going on with this garbage today?
I need this.
Just remember, guys, don't be like me. I don't do anything good. I can't. I just can't. Alright, Spyglass. We're gonna name Azcanta the Sunken Ruin if they let that go. They don't, though. Alright. Well, now we have Chemisters on end step, dump this Highland Lake, and then hopefully just draw something nice. They get a flipped Azcanta. They can go half of their deck deep now to go find an answer. I think Niv-Mizzet is literally their only out at this point. Feels like it is. Unless they're going to go like Nexus Loop now and just win on the spot. But they still need to establish a win con. They hit Chemisters in sight. Chemisters, okay. Land. Chemisters. Keeping on going. And passes. I don't think they've got any win cons left. They've got 3 cards in hand. Sinister Sabotage my Chemisters. Okay. Alright. 3 cards. Unless the last one... I mean, even if it's Hydroid Crisis as the last card...
I know what I'm...
Decline. They can't actually cast it. Wilderness Reclamation. I mean, what does it even do now? It doesn't do anything. It lets them look at the same 2 cards in their deck. So they untap, they do nothing. We tick up Sarkhan, ready to ult next turn. There's Niv-Mizzet with counter backup. Right at the last minute, when they're on 2 cards left in their deck, we draw Niv-Mizzet. Crushing Canopy. I actually don't think I care to fight over this. At all, because we have Sarkhan ulting. So I don't honestly see the value in doing that. So, let it happen. We also have a mill kill in 2 turns. Unless they've got, like, Banefire, I guess. Maybe that's an out, but we'll find out right now. Do they have Banefire? I'm going to be tilted if they do. They whiffed, or chose not to play it and scooped it up. Alright. That's the thing that happened, I guess. It's been a really rough week, but apparently rough for our opponent as well. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, taking down Wilderness Reclamation by decking them. We didn't even see Niv-Mizzet the entire game until the very last moment. And he purely was there to die to Crushing Canopy. Oh, what a joke. What a joke. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for today's episode and going to be end of the series as well on the YouTube channel. Specifically, if you do want to see another matchup with this deck, then as a reward to Twitch subscribers and patrons, I do offer a 4th video of every weekly series. If you're interested in that kind of thing, it's purely there just as a thank you anyway, but completely optional, helps out the channel a great deal, helps me purchase cards when the new sets roll around and all that jazz, so War of the Spark's not too far around, so I'm very excited to be opening up new packs and doing some fun stuff there. Other than that guys, we will be back again tomorrow with brand new decks as always, so stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment if you want to mention anything at all. I enjoy having chats with you guys, so the more comments the better as far as I'm concerned. But other than that, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.